Okay, this is my quick video about my out-of-body experience that I had, like, let's see, yesterday morning, or I don't know, it could have been about late morning, like around 11 o'clock, but, yeah, I know when I play this music, you know, this computer is right here by the wall, the outside wall, and I know, like, the neighbors can hear the music if they're standing out there, because these houses are so close together in my neighborhood. Like, I can hear their dogs barking, you know, so if I can hear their dogs barking, you know, if they're standing out there at the side yard or whatever, they can hear this music, but I don't care. I mean, it's not like they're standing out there, but if they were, like in the summertime, they would be able to hear it. But I gotta put up with their dogs barking, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, they made these houses pretty cheap. The walls are thin. But, yeah, so anyway, but I was asking for this experience because I was like, Reptilians, you know, and then I always talk to Joel. Like I said, I only have names for a few of them, so I'll be like Joel, Venus, Pablo, Jesse. I know what a lot of them look like, but the only one that I really totally named to a face was Joel. And some of the others, they just sort of told me their names, but, you know, I don't really know which one's which. But, so I don't know if Joel gave me this experience, but he probably did. But yeah, several days ago, I was saying, like, I was asking them, will you, make me astral travel, you know, on my stomach over a city? I was asking for that because I haven't gotten one of those. Well, actually, yeah, I haven't gotten one of those in a while. I did when I flew to the NSA building, when that gray gave me that experience. I flew over, you know, over a city when I was flying from here to Washington, D.C., which was a total blast. But, yeah, so I was asking for this experience, and of course, just recently, a black helicopter in real life, in 3D, went over my house about a week and a half ago. And so the Reptilian, probably Joel, he put the black helicopter in my experience. Okay, so anyway, so on the 11th, and I wasn't even expecting it. I mean, because I had already, like, woke up several times, went back to bed, woke up, went back to bed. And so this is probably like 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. in the morning, and I just started dozing off. And then the next thing I know, I'm flying over a city on my stomach, astral traveling. And he did not tell me what city I was in. When I looked to my left and to the right, you know, it was a strange city. He did not tell me what city I was in or whatever, but of course, this was all virtual reality. It wasn't necessarily a real dimension or whatever. Well, in my mind, it still is, though. But, so anyway, and this wasn't necessarily, it wasn't like I truly, like, lots of times I totally feel them take me out of body. I can totally feel them. They'll take me out of body in many, many ways. They'll pill me out. I mean, they'll just come down really fast and they'll literally, like, pill me out of body. Like, the top, they'll just, like, let's see, how should I say that? Like a, shit. Like a, shrimp. Like if you had a shrimp and you were just pulling off that hard part. I've had a reptilian just come down in my room and just pull me out like that. And a lot of times they'll swoop down and just, like, swoop me out. They'll swoop me out through the top of my head. They'll literally abduct me like that, my whole astral body. But like I say, sometimes I don't actually, you know, feel them take me out of body. But lots of times I do, and sometimes they'll literally come to my bed. Well, Joel will do that. He'll come to my bedroom and stand there at the foot of my bed and then pull me out very gently. He hasn't done that in a while. It takes more energy, I guess. Somehow they gotta be energized to come over into this dimension to be standing there at the foot of my bed. They have to have more energy to do that or something. But they can still do a lot of shit from their own dimension. They don't have to come to your bedroom to give you an experience. They can just trigger the implant or whatever. Oh, I'm not sure how they do it, but yeah, so this experience, this astral travel, out-of-body experience, I wasn't necessarily truly out of body, if you know what I'm saying, but still, it doesn't matter. I was still out of body. Because I think this time it was kind of obvious that he just triggered the implant for me to astral travel and all that. But yeah, so I was astral traveling, you know, pretty damn high. Let's see. Well, at first I was traveling pretty high, like about, oh man. So anyway, so like I said, I wasn't expecting this experience at all, and I had already woken up many times to go pee-pee and then go back to bed and then get up, go back to bed, get up and go back to bed. And like I say, and this was probably the last time I was going to fall asleep, and then I was just going to get up out of bed for good. And then yeah, so I got up and then went back to bed, and then I just started dozing off. And like I say, I wasn't really expecting an experience. And then next thing I know, I'm like flying over astrally on my stomach, just like this woman right there. And I was about, I don't know, shit, like 10 stories. I was about 10 stories, and I was flying, not real fast, but about 20 miles an hour. And I was just like, I mean, I couldn't really believe it, because I was just like, wow, I really got an experience, because I wasn't really expecting it. So yeah, so I looked to my left. Oh, I've been getting so much shit lately, but I can't talk about it in this video. Yeah, I looked to my left, looked to my right, and I was just like, wow, I can't believe I'm getting an experience, because I wasn't really expecting it. Okay, and my back legs, this has happened many, many times, my back legs kept trying to fall down. And I just kept telling myself, put your legs back up and tell yourself that you're weightless, you know, so you won't be trying to fall back down to the ground or whatever. But he programmed all that for me. And so I kept doing that, and I would become more light and weightless. And so I kept astral traveling 20 miles an hour and flying, which is super blast. Then the next thing I know, I started to fly a little lower. I started going lower and lower and lower. And then I was only about, you know, I was pretty low to the ground at that point, like 6 or 7 feet off the ground when I was astral traveling. After I started off high, then I started to fly really low. Then this black helicopter came over to my right. A black helicopter was flying along with me really, really low, about the same height. Which of course I don't even think they really could fly that low in a straight path. I don't know if a helicopter could really fly 6 or 7 feet off the ground that low in a straight path. I would think not. But anyway, you know, it was in this experience. The reptilians can make anything happen in this, you know, in your experiences. You know, because it's not, you know, physical. But yeah, so this black helicopter was over to my right, and I just kept looking over there, and it kept, you know, chasing me, basically. It was chasing me. And so it was flying along with me at the same speed, and it was over to my right. It was about 20 feet, let's see, not 20 feet. It was a good, let's see, 30 feet, yeah, maybe 25 feet away from me, 25 or 30 feet over to my right, flying along with me, because it was freaking chasing me, and it was trying to, you know, come after me. And then I started, I started to like slow my body down, and then it seemed like I was starting to kind of get heavy again, and try to, you know, I kept trying to like fall back down again on the ground. So I kept telling myself, you know, put your back legs back up and keep up off the ground so I could float or whatever. Well, so anyway, so there were 3 men. Of course, I can't remember what they, you know, what they had on or whatever, but there's 3 men in the helicopter. There was 3 men. There was two older ones, but like I say, I can't remember exactly what they looked like, but they had short hair. There was two older ones, but there was a young man, and he didn't really look like an agent or anything, but he was just a normal looking young kid, about 30 years old, or maybe 28, 29. The other two older men stayed in the helicopter. The younger one came out and started chasing after me. At that point, he started chasing after me. At that point, you know, I was just floating there. I was having a hard time staying up off the ground, astrally. I was floating there, and I kept telling myself, you know, stay up, stay up, stay up. And he came after me, you know, running after me. And I was trying to dodge him, like dodge him here, dodge him there. I was moving around. I was still astral. He was physical, so to speak, but I was still astral. But I was having a hard time dodging him and dodging him. And this isn't the first time they've given me experiences like this, where it's like I'm running out of juice and I'm having a hard time staying astral as opposed to turning back physical. They've given me experiences like that many times. It's like they're being honorary, and they're creating that for me on purpose. So anyway, yeah, this man, this 28, 29-year-old man, like I say, for some reason, I totally knew there were three men. I saw three men in the helicopter. Two of them were older, like probably 50s or late 50s, but they stayed in the helicopter. The young guy went after me, 28, 29-year-old, and he didn't look like an agent or anything like that, or a military person. He was just a regular person you would see anywhere, Barnes & Nobles or whatever. And he had short brown hair too. But he was like just trying to grab at me. And he was trying to abduct me, so to speak. And I just remember just like I was like, at this point I was kind of stopped in midair, floating on my stomach about just 4 feet off the ground. I was pretty low to the ground. And I just kept trying to dodge him and dodge him and dodge him. But I was kind of having a hard time. And he did actually touch me one time. But he didn't actually try to grab me and take me somewhere. But he did actually touch me. Because, like I say, I was having a hard time trying to astral travel away from him. Because it's like I was losing juice or whatever. And I was becoming heavy as I was kind of stalling there in midair. You know, like my back legs were getting kind of heavy, and I had to tell myself to keep floating and shit like that. And this isn't the first time they've done that to me, to make me, you know, astral travel like that or whatever. I mean, they've created similar scenarios for me like that. But anyway, that was pretty much the experience. But it was kind of fun trying to dodge him and stuff. But like I say, I was like going to the left, going to the right, going backwards. But I mean, it's like he pretty much had me cornered, so to speak, even though I wasn't in a corner. You know what I'm saying? I was outside, you know, in this big city or whatever. It was daytime, but it's like he was like getting me cornered. And like I say, I do remember he got so close to me, he did actually touch me, because I was having a hard time getting away from him astrally, you know, flying away from him. If Joel wanted to create that for me and make me like zoom off away from him, he could have. But he didn't, because he controlled all that. He designed all that for me. And, yeah, so it's not like I never felt scared or anything. I mean, they probably could make me feel scared or whatever. But they never do that. They never make me feel scared or anything like that. Except that there have been times where he kind of has, but kind of rarely. I mean, I don't know if it probably was Joel that gave me that experience down into the cave. There was like a mall down into the cave. And he was, you know, yeah, that one, when I walked into the apartment, he made me feel kind of scared. But yeah, and fearful or whatever. But normally they don't really make me feel like that. That was another out-of-body experience, but that's on here somewhere, that video. But anyway, so that pretty much was the experience. This black helicopter chasing after me, trying to abduct me. But yeah, I don't think a helicopter could, or any kind of airplane, I don't think it could fly that low in a straight path. Or maybe it could, I don't know, but you know. But yeah, it was fun. but it was quick. But also there was another, this was like over a week ago. Oh yeah, that was when I called in sick because I felt like shit. I called in sick. I felt real weak that day because I kind of have low blood sugar problems anyway, and I was like bleeding a lot, and I was just like, ugh. So I called in sick or whatever, and man, whenever I freaking call in sick at work, I always have, like, you know, I'll get up at 7 or whatever, and I'll always try to go back to sleep, and I never can. Lots of times I never can. I almost fell back to sleep that morning. That was about a week and a half ago. I almost fell back to sleep about 10:30 or 11. And he was trying, and I was asking for an experience. I was asking for the Reptilians to give me an experience, or whoever, an out-of-body experience. And Joel or somebody was trying to give me an experience because I got into that groggy state. And this was cool. The next thing I know, everything, it's like I was, you know, in another dimension, so to speak. I was in, like, in outer space. I was in outer space, of course, in another dimension. And this is the first time they ever created, he was trying to, some alien, Joel or somebody was trying to create an experience for me, but it was a failed attempt because I kept jarring myself back awake. And so I couldn't get the experience fully. But yeah, so he was trying to give me, or some alien was trying to give me an experience. I was in outer space, you know, in another dimension or whatever. And everything, it was like all these little dots, like Christmas lights, all these little Christmas light dots. Beautiful dots everywhere, like lights everywhere, like blue, yellow, red. Yeah, you know, like freaking, if you look at a Christmas tree and you have all these different colored lights. Except in this atmosphere, it wasn't like bulbs. It wasn't like big old bulbs, light bulbs. It was just small little dots. And I knew it. I mean, I was just like, wow. I knew I was about to get an experience, but I was so alert. When you're that alert, sometimes you just keep jarring yourself awake, and I couldn't freaking get the experience. But yeah, they were trying to, he was trying to, some alien was trying to give me an experience. And so that could have, he was probably trying to, he probably started out with that, and then it was going to put me in a virtual reality scenario, but I couldn't get it because I jarred myself awake, and I didn't even go to sleep at all. I kept trying to, but so finally I just got to flip up out of bed. That always happens when I call in sick. I never can. Like, I always want to, but then I always feel, you know, I always feel like, well, I got to call in at a certain time, you know, and then I'm going to try to go back to sleep, and I never go back to sleep. But actually, you're really supposed to call in within 2 hours after your shift. So I really have till 10 o'clock to call in, 10 a.m. Yeah, next time I'm just going to wait till like 9:59 and I'll call in sick, so it won't fuck up my sleep and my out-of-body experiences. But we've just been calling in at 7 a.m. lately.